joining us. You missed a bonus live version of the Suki and Scott show that we did at noon with Christos Andrews, who was the star of The Bay.
Yeah, Emmy award-winning actor, producer.
Emmy award-winning, 11 of them.
11 of them, yeah.
11 of them. If you guys haven't seen The Bay, you got to go check it out. You could start it off on Peacock, and it's on Tubi, and it's really, really a cool show. And we played a little heads up, which I think we're going to have to do again, Sue, because we suck. We weren't really good at it. We got to do a little better.
For those people who don't know what heads up is, heads up is that game that you put a card or a clue and the other person has to guess.
Well, it's on your phone. It's an app.
Yeah, it's an
app.
And
you hold it over your
head.
It's
great to play with the kids.
And I think Ellen was like the first one.
Ellen created it, I believe.
It might be her creation.
Yeah.
Sue, you do this. Can you move
a little bit
to your
more?
left a hair?
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we didn't officially start the show yet.
Okay.
How was lunch, by the way? It was good.
Delicious. I'm still sucking up the tacos.
What'd you guys have? What was in catering today?
Catering was tacos today.
Tacos today?
Delicious.
Man,
yeah.
That's how big the show has become, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh. Uh-oh. Lauren, we just lost the picture, babe. There we go. We're back.
We're back. That's
So,
how big the show is.
That's how big the show is. We don't even have a camera that works. Courtesy of Leemore Studios here in Westchester, New York. Call them for all your studio needs. Anyway, the show has gotten so big that we have a catering truck that rolls in. And so it was tacos.
So
today?
Jason,
was it good tacos?
Yes. Jason got tacos. So Jason picked what he wanted.
All right, beautiful.
He said there's a taco of the day, but I didn't know where the taco of the day was.
Do you go spicy taco? You get all the spice
I like
on it?
We like it spicy. We like it so hot that it's like everything's burning.
Jesus, you start sweating while
a little sweat rolling down.
Remember the movie Along Came Polly?
Yes.
With Ben Stiller?
Yeah.
When he's with Jennifer Aniston and he's at the Mexican restaurant. Was it Jennifer Aniston?
I guess so.
It was, right?
Yeah, she was Polly.
And he's at the Mexican restaurant and he's trying to impress her, but he's sitting there and the sweat is pouring off his face. And then she takes him back to her apartment, and he's got a little run action,
little gastrointestinal.
And of course, he goes to the bathroom. It gets stuffed up. It starts coming out.
The worst.
It was just a disaster.
Well, I mean, it always comes back to that irony of Something About Mary. After we saw that episode where we've got a bleeder.
Oh yeah,
I feel like
Ben Stiller's amazing, and this was Along Came Polly.
Right.
And that's also Along Came Polly is when he's playing basketball with what's his name, Philip Seymour Hoffman, who unfortunately, of course, passed away. But he's playing. Philip Seymour is shirtless with his hairy body, and they're sweaty. And Ben Stiller goes to dribble past them, and his face goes into, and they put it in slow motion, and he's like, and the sweat and it was great. But anyway, we got a great show for you guys this afternoon. Rich Aveo is here. Rich, one of my favorites. The guy's got 8,000 voices. So he sings. You throw out a singer, he sings in that voice. It's amazing, and in his own voice.
And his own voice.
He's
fantastic. He's multifaceted, super talented, and he's here to entertain us this afternoon. And you're just going to really want to stick around. But in the more of the music vein, who else do we have?
Oh my God, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Rick Wakeman is here from Yes fame. If you're I'll be the roundabout.
Keyboardist extraordinaire.
So much to me. And he's on his own now. He's actually going to start touring here in the U.S. He's on from over in the UK where it's nighttime right now. So Rick Wakeman coming on. And we're also, Sugi and I are going to try doing a little heads up again because we were terrible at it on the last show. So anyway, Jeffrey, if you're ready to start the show, we give a little whirl in the 3, 2, 1. Go ahead.
The Suki and Scott Show.
This is one of the funnest shows I've ever done.
Lady, when you're with me, I'm smiling.
It's musical. It's magical.
Suki and Scott, the 7 of Hearts. Exactly.
What she said.
This is a sexy show.
Someone's getting some action.
Now, these larger-than-life personalities are on an exciting new journey as they bring you the Suki and Scott Show.
You guys nailed it. You're great. You ask great questions. You listen.
I answered you because I have respect for you guys, and it was a question respectfully put.
The Suki and Scott Show is your one-stop destination for humor.
You like De Niro and Cape Fear. Counselor!
Entertainment.
Jesse's girl.
Wonderful.
Can you paint with all the colors of the wind?
And you and optimism.
You guys have such amazing energy.
Ultraviolet light, it gets in there and it just fights the kung flu. Is that right? Okay.
Let's laugh together.
I love him.
The Suki and Scott Show.
That's the best intro for a show I maybe have ever seen.
Really?
Your intro is fantastic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard here on our fine program. Suk, we've got a lot of things happening here on this program. Number one, big news, if you're in the New York area and you live in the tri-state, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Long Island, New York City, we are coming to News 12 Plus, which is the sister station of News 12, which is 24-hour news. We're coming to News 12 Plus a week from Sunday on March 19th. Every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. on News 12 Plus, you're going to get the Suki and Scott Show broadcast on television, right on your
dose of celebrity. You're going to get your dose of entertainment, a little bit of nostalgia, as we like to call it, because we like to find news stories that are kind of interesting. Speaking of something that's interesting, do you know there's a museum that's displaying letters sent to Spider-Man's Queen's address?
What do you mean? Spider-Man lives in Queens?
Yes, apparently he does. New York Museum is displaying hundreds of letters addressed to Marvel hero Spider-Man that were delivered over the course of 30 years to
How many letters, Sue? How many letters?
30 years. So apparently it's been going on since 1989, since the address of the Forest Hills address was actually put out there in the comic book.
Spider-Man lives
near the family who lived there also ironically shared the name Parker.
No way.
Yes.
There's not a son named Peter.
So Pamela Parker grew up in the house, in the household. And it was her mother, Susan Parker, who actually started getting some of the letters thinking that they were odd at first and thought it was a prank. But turns out that it was not a prank at all, that the actual comic creators found the address, put it in the book, and now to this day, they had people writing letters to the house.
So they've given it over to a museum.
They've given it over to a museum in Queens who has all of it. And there's some really cute letters that are on display saying, "Dear Spider-Man, this letter is to Peter Parker." And apparently, if you're in the area, there's actually an exhibit that runs through April 2nd. And it's called the City Reliquary?
Spider-Man.
What is that called? You can look at some of the letters. There's actually an Instagram page.
Suki, I can't even read it. Where is it? Where are you? Show me.
City, what is the Instagram page?
Oh. City Reliquary.
Is it Reliquary?
Reliquary.
I never heard of it.
It's the City Reliquary. I don't know.
Anyway, look up Peter Parker's letter as Reliquary.
Anyway, listen. So we have a great show today for you guys. We have Rich Aveo is here. Rich has been on the show before. Rich is a musician, a singer, a songwriter. He's got a fantastic voice. He plays instruments. He is a multi-talented musician who also happens to do about 7,000 voices of singers, all to a T.
From Rick Astley,
to a T,
Never Gonna Give You Up,
Michael Jackson,
Rick
Astley. You name it. He was doing Cher, Dean Martin.
Also, what was it called? Josie's on a vacation far away.
That's the
outfield.
That was that Edith Bunker doing the outfield. He does everybody. He's got a great video out. It's 90 voices in 15 minutes. And it's just a mashup of him banging them out. But he's coming on, and we're going to have him on in just a few minutes. Of course, the legendary Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Rick Wakeman is
joining
here.
us from England.
The crowd goes crazy. Rick is over in England, of course, from Yes fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He is coming back to the U.S. this month. He's got his solo tour. And the guy is we're going to talk to him.
Genius.
We've got some video of him playing, and literally, pound for pound, the greatest keyboardist in the history of rock and roll. I don't know if maybe some on par, but nobody better. So Rick Wakeman is coming up. But before we start, Sue, in the earlier show we had today, in the matinee we had earlier on, Suki and I were playing Heads Up. You know, that app on your phone where you hold up the name of the celebrity, and the other person. We were
terrible.
We sucked. And everybody said, "You guys,
we were terrible.
You guys were terrible." So I'm going to bang it. We just want to bang it out one more time and see if we can maybe do a little better.
Okay.
This time around.
Okay,
Sue?
so let's introduce it.
All right. So
okay,
here we
time
go.
now.
So here's
for the Suki and Scott edition of Heads Up.
Yeah. So you place it on your forehead, right?
And I have to guess it.
It's going to count you. No, you give me the clues.
Yeah.
You give me the clues. Ready?
You know, it's not the same as it was.
Oh boy, I have no idea.
As it was. As it was.
Pass. Who was
boy
it?
Band.
Oh,
Harry
Jesus.
Styles.
Okay.
Swimmer, Olympic gold medalist.
Michael Phelps.
Yes. Oh my God.
Suki. Suki, I'm passing. Let's go to the next one.
He's on that where he gets celebrities and he creates the next generation. He's from England. He's kind of mean sometimes. X Factor.
I forgot his name.
Yes.
Yeah, the guy who used to be on American Idol.
Simon
Cowell.
There you go.
You said Simesworth. Go ahead. You cheated. Suki.
40-year-old virgin.
Yeah, Stephen Carell.
Yep.
Go ahead, Suki.
Can't touch it.
MC Hammer, yep. Suki. Suki, we're running out of time.
I don't even know the song. I don't even know the songs anymore. I know the guy.
What was it?
Flow Rider.
Oh, Flow Rider.
What is that? Apple bottom jeans
boots with the fur.
No, that's not Flow Rider.
The whole club
that's not
was
Flow Rider.
Apple bottom jeans is Flow Rider.
Jeans, the guy with the Band-Aid.
It's Flow Rider.
No.
It's not Flow Rider?
Flow Rider is
Apple bottom jeans is Flow Rider, Sue.
No.
Yeah.
No. Flow Rider is apple bottom jeans.
Yeah. And you know what else he does?
No.
He also does, hey, I heard you were a wild one.
Yeah.
Took her home. She'd be apple bottom jeans is Flow Rider.
No, apple bottom jeans is not Flow Rider. It's the guy with the Band-Aid, Nelly.
That's not Nelly.
It's Nelly.
That's not
apple bottom jeans.
No, hold on, Suki. Hold on. Flow Rider.
Looking at her. She hit the floor.
The song is called
Next
Low.
thing you know.
Shorty got low. Apple bottom.
See, I was thinking it was Nelly.
See, this is why you're not good at this game. All right, here we go. Ready?
Okay.
So you hold it up. We'll try it this way, and I'm going to give you the clues.
Oh, okay.
Right? Okay, so she place it on your forehead. Oh, Jesus. Get ready, everybody. Here we go. Post-production. This is going to be great. Suki, look this way. I feel the need for speed. Top Gun.
Oh, fun.
Actor. Actor. Tom Cruise. Go. Flip it. Next one. Oh, she's a singer.
Lady Gaga.
No. Rhymes with Remy.
Remy Martin.
Rhymes with Remy, not a drink.
Tammy. Gabby. Jenny.
Demi Lovato. Go to the next one. He was in Titanic, the star.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Right, nicely said. And I could have bought you flowers
and brushed your hair.
Had to pay. A halftime show.
Oh my God,
Super Bowl.
Bruno Mars.
There you go. She was the star. She was the host of America's Next Top Model.
Tyra Banks.
Nicely done. If You're Nasty, Michael's sister.
Janet Jackson.
Nice, Suki, we did it.
Did we win anything?
Boy, we won. We didn't get them all. There you go. You got. Nick Jonas was the last
one.
one.
I didn't.
Almost got him.
I knew I would have gotten that because you would have said she was married to Priyanka Chopra.
Nicely done, Priyanka. I love Priyanka.
Yeah, I know
Chopra.
you do. You need to
ladies and gentlemen, another crappy job on the Heads Up by us. It's going to look great in post.
I thought it was Nelly.
Anyway, Nelly. No, it's Flow Rider.
What did Nelly sing?
Apple bottom jeans, boots.
What did Nelly sing?
What does Nelly sing, guys? Anybody? Nelly? Dilemma. You know Dilemma? I don't know Dilemma. All I know is the band.
It's getting hot in here.
Take off all your clothes. That's Nelly. Yeah, that's Nelly. What's wrong with you, Flow Rider? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, great guest coming up right now. Rich Aveo, the man of 1,000 voices. Let's take a look, a little look at Rich, and then we'll pop him in on the other side. Take a look at this. Amazing.
1, 2, 3, 4. Where did you come from, baby?
I kissed her and she kissed me.
Should've known better than to cheat a friend. Waste the chance that I've been given. So
we're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. No matter how hard I try. Let's dance in style, let's dance for a while. Heaven can wait, we're only watching the stars. Josie's on a vacation far away.
Oh, right, okay, right. Return to the Mac. What it is, what it does, what it is, what it isn't. Looking for a better way to get up out of bed instead of getting on the internet and checking a new hit again.
This is the moment. The night is the night. Well, until it's over.
That's it. Put our hands up.
Rich, what's going on, baby?
Guys, it's so great to see you again. I was screaming hot in here when you guys were.
Oh, I'm sorry. Why did I think that was Nelly? I don't know what's wrong with me.
Oh, it's funny. I'm usually. I'm over here playing it. I'm like, she's gonna feel
it. Oh,
Rich, I'm sorry for my partner. I mean, that apple bottom jeans, flow ride. Everybody knows that.
It's all right. That's all
I
right.
apologize, but unprofessional, very unprofessional. Anyway, man, how you doing? It's been a while since we've seen you.
I know the world has changed quite a bit since the last time we chatted. It's so good to see you and be able to see people in person again.
so what have you been up to? Tell us everything that you've been up to, because with this mashup
he's entertaining the world.
I know he is. He really is.
Yeah, it's pretty much it. Just, I'm out doing shows. I'm back to be glad to be back out playing out in theaters, and I have a big band, and we go out and we put on our big show with the show band, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been great.
Rich, when I probably asked you this last time, right? I watched that whole video that you put out where you do the 90 voices in 15 minutes.
Crazy.
And I know you have more voices than that in the arsenal because I've seen you do others. Can you remember back when you first started doing this, what was the first voice, whether it was a singer, a celebrity, what was the first voice that you got down solid? Do you remember?
Oh man, the first voice. I mean, for me, it probably honestly all started with Kermit the Frog.
Oh, Kermit.
Go ahead. Go lay it on it, baby.
And funny thing about Kermit is, like, because he was one of my first, voice acting loves. If you start with Kermit the Frog, you can actually kind of go around the whole world with his voice. Like a lot of other voices resemble Kermit the Frog. Like, I'll give you an example. So we start with our regular. Why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what's on the other side? Right. So we have our regular Kermit the voice. But if we take Kermit right there and we raise Kermit's voice up about an octave, we put him in our falsetto. We give him a little bit of a country twang, and suddenly we got the guy from Rascal Flatts. My wish for you is that this life becomes all that you wanted to.
Oh, wow.
Right, so you get the country twang in the Rascal Flatts voice, but you take it back to Brooklyn. You give him a little bit of New York, right? You give him a little bit of attitude, and you got your boy Hove, right? Yeah, it's your boy Hove. Yeah. You keep that New York attitude in him. You move him out to Queens. You slow it down just a little bit. You drop it about an octave, and you got your Ray Romano.
Ray Romano.
Right? Yeah, Deborah. He kind of sounds like Kermit, but he's got a little bit of New York in him.
You're right.
Didn't realize he was from Forest Hills like Peter Parker himself,
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I mean, so Kermit the Frog, I mean, that sound, and it's just, listening to how Jim Henson would change his voice for all those characters and stuff. It's just, a lot of that, you can kind of hear similarities in a lot of voices. So, that's where it all started for me.
It's pretty incredible. Yeah, and then when did you get to this? Like when you're actually doing your shows, are you doing your music, or are you doing other like incarnations of what you've created as like something that's going to be like wildly entertaining, but like that mashup was?
Yeah, so my show does contain a little bit of that kind of stuff. It's a little bit of like the insight to how the voice works and the nuance of the voice, and share some funny stories about how it all got started. And a lot of it's improvised, much like that thing I just did. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. But I do live mashups. I have like a little bit of a game show. I have a wheel with different voices and different songs, and you spin the wheel, and whatever it lands on, I have to do that song in that voice. And so it's a lot of fun.
Oh man,
That's
I love it.
that's
I love it.
great,
I feel like
right?
you got to give our audience a little taste of what
Yeah, you
you've
want to
created.
just forget we're here, man, and you want to just go off on a little tangent with
That'd
some
be
voices.
amazing.
Yeah. Do you guys have a request?
Who do we like?
I love George Michael. I thought that was
George
really
Michael's
really good. We can
George
go from
Michael's
George
great.
Michael on.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So I'm already thinking about ways to mash George Michael up with something else. Let's see what we got from George Michael. And you know, it's funny. Didn't realize till recently I was going to be sharing the day with a living legend of the keyboard.
Well, listen, and that's just us here on the Suki and Scott show, but we have Rick Wakeman's here also.
I got to tell you, my hands are trembling just to play this thing. I play this every day, but knowing that Rick Wakeman is sitting in the wings, I don't know.
He is in the wings.
He's in the wings. He's there.
I don't know if I can play this in front of him. All right, so let's see what we can do from George Michael. Okay. I feel so
He sounds like George Michael. Sorry, he's amazing.
As I take your hand and lead you to the dance floor, as the music dies, something in your eyes calls to mind silvers. You know this part, right? Oh, let's say goodbyes. Never gonna dance again. Guilty feet have got no rhythm. Though it's easy to pretend, I know you're not a fool. I should've known better than to cheat a friend, waste the chance that I've been given. So I'm never gonna dance again the way I dance with you. Oh. You know, as I'm singing this, I'm thinking George Michael kind of sounds a little bit like a country star, because he almost has that Kermit sound to him too, right? He has a, so if I take this song, right? Got a little Garth Brooks. Blame it all on my roots. I showed up in boots and ruined your black tie affair. I was the last one to know. I was the last one to show. I was the last one you I see you singing along. I love it. And I saw the surprise and the fear in his eyes as I took his glass of champagne. But I toasted you, said, honey, we may be through, but you'll never hear me complain. 'Cause I got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. I'll be okay. Oh, I'm not big on social graces. Think I slip on down to the oasis, 'cause I got friends in low places.
Gentlemen, beautiful.
Rich, where are you playing? You said you've got shows and you're touring, so you know.
Yeah, you're a New York guy, right, Rich? You're in New York.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I live right on the north side of the Jersey Shore, so I'm about maybe 40 minutes from the city.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So you're doing shows in and out of the city, or all around the tri-state area, or all around the country?
All around the tri-state area right now. I've done some national stuff. Right now, you know, it's been a kind of a crazy transition out of the pandemic. So really right now it's kind of focused. I do a lot of private events. I have the big band and we do, you know, corporate stuff and cool events like that. So it's been fun, but it's been an interesting transition back to the stage.
I gotta imagine. I gotta imagine.
And Rich, you do, you know, I've seen videos. You, what's the young lady usually singing with? You guys are great together.
That's my wife. That's Kat.
Oh, that's your wife. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Yes. Okay.
Yep.
So
that's why they're amazing together.
Good thing I said lovely young lady.
I'm glad you did. I know.
Yeah, no, you guys are you guys do some great duets together. I've been looking at you online and whatnot. You have, I mean, you've got a lot of your own music too that you write and sing, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I've been a songwriter. Actually, I've been writing songs for longer than I've been doing voices in public.
Wow.
You want to do
an original.
one of yours, an original?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, man, light it up.
Yeah. Here's a feel good one since it's nice and sunny out today.
Yes.
All right, this song is called Weightless. Heaven's calling me, pulled from underneath. The shackles on my feet, and I'm looking for the key. Who's the enemy? Is it them or me? I feel it holding me, but I'm slowly trying to break free. Been a long time since I felt this way. But I do today, yes I do today, 'cause I'm weightless. I'm drifting off the ground. I'm weightless, and I'm not coming down, 'cause I'm gonna cut the rope to which I'm bound. Lighten my load by 1,000,000 pounds. I'm weightless, and nothing in this world's gonna weigh me down. Been a long time since I felt this way. But I do today, yes I do today. I'm weightless, I'm drifting off the ground. Said I'm weightless, and I'm not coming down. Said I'm gonna cut the rope to which I'm bound. Lighten my load by 1,000,000 pounds. I'm weightless, and nothing in this world's gonna weigh me down. No, nothing in this world's gonna weigh me down. No, nothing in this world's gonna weigh me down. Oh, no, nothing, no, nothing, no, nothing, no, nothing, no. No, nothing in this world's gonna weigh me down.
That's wonderful, Rich.
If we were on Rich, I'd throw these flowers to you if you were on
flowers for Rich.
Throw you my room key to work.
So, Rich, were you a young kid who just, whose mom was like, hey, you should take
piano lessons, and then it just sort of went from one thing to another thing?
Yeah, so actually my dad was a musician. He's no longer with us, but when I was a kid, he was a band leader, and he did like local stuff, bars and things like that. They snuck me into a few bars when I was a little kid. So I got to watch my dad kind of be a front man of a band, and it was funny because his personality wasn't like that in the house. And I was like, wow, something about holding that microphone just does something to somebody. And I've always had an interest in just entertaining people, and the impressions all really started in school. I used to do impressions of all my teachers, and just to make my friends laugh.
You were that kid.
Yeah, I was that kid.
I love it. And when you decide you want to do an impression of let's say Michael Jackson or George Michael or Cher, anybody, how long does it take? Do you sit and just study that person on video for how long? What's the process? How long does it take before you can get them down?
It's funny. So that video that I did, the 90 voices. I'm gonna probably say I had about maybe 60 of them locked in, and the rest of them I just tried. And there's something about it. All starts with a sound, just one sound. There's like a sound. Everyone has a. Do you guys do impressions? You guys have such trademark voices.
No, we don't.
A little bit. No. I do an Irish guy.
Okay.
You gotta stop with this. He makes every accent sounds like an Irish bro.
Rich Aveo, I'd love to have you over for some March 15th, 17th. When the hell's
this? 16th?
When's the St. Patty's Day?
I think it's the 17th.
The 17th.
I don't know for sure.
But it's funny. You change your voice a little bit when you slip into that accent. And it's funny because my wife turns everything into a French accent for some reason. That's her go-to voice. But yeah, the voice tends to change when you're listening to a certain nuance of the voice. I think we can all mimic each other. Like everyone has a Christopher Walken, right? But everyone's got their own spin. You guys can do a Christopher Walken impression. I'm sure.
Do a Christopher Walken. Go ahead, try Christopher Walken.
Can I teach you how to do it, Suki?
Go ahead.
Like this, and then he goes like this, right? Something like
exactly.
that.
So there's something about his rhythm, right? And I don't do a lot of speaking impressions, but like here's how I envision doing a Christopher Walken voice. Have you ever seen a ransom note written?
Yeah, yeah.
Right, it's like all cut out pieces from a magazine. So like
from the magazines.
everything's a different size and a different emphasis. So if you just picture a ransom note and you read it, you can kind of do a Chris Walken. So if you try that, it's about visualizing that voice and like the musicality of that voice.
That is so true.
If you just picture a ransom note.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's so great, man. Let's bang out a couple names, man. I love when you do the impressions. Give me a little MJ, because I know that's one of your favorites.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sure. We could do some MJ.
Everyone's
Let me think
Love
of a good song by MJ. I haven't played MJ in a while.
Where
Let's see.
did you come from, baby?
How about a little Man in the Mirror?
Oh, Man in the Mirror.
Ooh,
PYT.
Would I be cheating if I looked up lyrics on this one?
No, not at all. They're gonna make a change.
Change.
It's gonna feel real good.
Now I've actually never done this one. I've never done this, but this is kind of how it works for me. I like to feel my way through it and see how it works. I'm just gonna pull up some lyrics. Let's see if I can figure this out on the keyboard too while I'm here.
I'm gonna make a change.
I'm sure Rick Wakeman is rolling his eyes at me. All right, so I think
feel real good. Gonna make
Rich, forget it. We'll do it.
You got it. You guys got it. You got it. All right, I am going to read the lyrics to this one because I haven't sung this one before.
Go ahead. We'll do
I think this is the key. All right, let's give this one a try. Okay, there we go.
I'm gonna make a change for once in my life.
Guy has never done this song before. Look at him, he's a genius.
It's gonna feel real good. Gonna make a difference. Gonna make it right. As I turn up the collar on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind. I see the kids on the street with not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their needs? A summer's disregard, a broken bottle top in a workman's soul. We follow each other on the wind, you know.
Here we go.
'Cause we got nowhere to go. That's why I want you to know. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways.
Come on, change.
And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, gotta look at yourself and then make the change.
That's about all I know. I don't really know.
That's amazing. I mean,
dude, I think we just found a new tune for you.
I mean, for somebody who's never played that song before, that was pretty amazing. That was pretty amazing.
Add it to the list.
Say that.
We'll add it to the list.
Well,
I mean, but that song, I mean, if you really think about that song, it was written like what, some 20 years ago.
yeah, at least 20 years ago.
And literally that song, I mean, the words are just so relevant today. Like, look in the mirror, make this change, start with yourself.
It's gonna feel real good.
Yeah. I mean, he was just a brilliant musician, songwriter, producer. I mean, everything. What a visionary, really.
Yeah. Rich, you got a little Cher in the bag of tricks there?
Cher. Yeah, we have a good song from Cher.
What was the one you do on the mashup?
Oh, okay. We could do a little bit of that. So the funny thing about the Cher thing is I had never done her voice before. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give this thing a try. Because I used to do this little fake robot voice when I used to talk to people. And so I realized that, like, I think, don't quote me on this. It's not like we're on camera or anything. But I think when Cher put out the song Believe, that was the first time auto-tune had ever been heard.
I think you're correct.
Yeah,
I
auto-tune.
remember doing that story as a news story. And people were like, she's really not singing. It's auto-tune. It's auto-tune.
Believe in life after love.
So I remember listening to that song. I loved it when it came out. But there was always like this fun artifact. When you hear auto-tune, it does things like that, like auto-tune, right? So you kind of like, so I was like, oh, how can we, let's see if we could do some Cher with this. And I hit the camera, I hit record, and this, I think this is the key.
No matter how hard I try to lie, you keep pushing me aside and I can't break through.
Yeah.
There's no talking to you.
Oh my gosh.
It's so sad that you're leaving. It takes time to believe it. But after all is said and done, you're gonna be the lonely one. Oh, do you believe in love after love?
That's amazing.
I can feel something inside me say, I really don't think it's strong enough, no.
Nice.
I love it.
It's like Cher in the shower. I love
I
it.
know.
Unreal.
Cher in the
Cher in the
shower.
shower. You call that one Cher in the shower, Rich. I give you that one.
I'm stealing it. I'm stealing it.
Before we go,
Steve Wakeman's in the wing.
oh well, Rick.
I'm sorry.
How dare you, Suki?
I know.
How
Sorry.
dare now
Rick Wakeman's in the
you're gonna
wing.
piss him off.
I know.
You're gonna piss off Rick Wakeman. Rich, before you go,
yes,
I probably asked you this last time too, 2 years ago. You're on the Impressionist show, $1 million. What's the best one you got in the bag that you're pulling out to win that $1 million prize? One impression, one singer.
One singer, I'm going Andrea Bocelli.
Ooh.
Light it up, baby.
Big
Light
one.
it up.
That's a big one.
Big finale.
That is a big finale.
Big finale. All right, here we go. Now, here's the thing about Andrea Bocelli. Before we leave, he got discovered playing piano bars. It made me very jealous. It made me very jealous because I played a lot of piano bars in my day too. But Andrea Bocelli obviously does not have the gift of sight. So I get super jealous when I think about the fact that he can also play piano better than me. So I'm actually gonna do this song for you today, and I'm not gonna look at the keys at all. I'm gonna try my best to see if we can get through this song in some way that tips a hat to the unbelievable talent that Andrea Bocelli has.
Close your eyes and light it up.
All right, here we go. Quando sono solo sogno all'orizzonte mancan le parole e non son che non c'è luce in una stanza quando manca il sole se non ci sei tu con me su le finestre mostra tutti il mio cuore che hai acceso chiudi dentro me la luce che hai incontrato per strada. Con te partirò paesi che non ho mai veduto e vissuto con te. Adesso sì li vivrò con te, partirò su navi per mari che io lo so, non esistono più, io con te.
Wow. Winner, ladies and gentlemen. That's a winner.
That was amazing. Thank you so much.
Rick Wakeman just gave you a standing ovation. Rick.
Listen, we got to can we push up Rick just to say hello to?
Bring up Rary.
All right, Rick.
Oh, Rick, I love you. I love you, man.
I thought that was fantastic what you just did. I know, excuse me, I can't imagine looking at any singer unless they sound like Kermit the Frog. I think I can't wait to put on a Yes record, listen to John Anderson as he turns into Kermit the Frog.
Yeah. Put it on.
No, that's brilliant, Rich. So good, man.
Thank you so much.
Love it. Rick, stay tuned. We're coming back to you in a second, my friend.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks.
I love it. Rich, thank you, my man. You're fantastic, bud. Where could people come log on to hear you and if you're going to be playing anywhere anytime soon?
Working on a new tour this year. Nothing on the books just yet, but we're working on some stuff in the spring.
All right.
Cheers to you, sir.
As soon as you get those dates, let us know, man. You come back on.
I'd love to. Absolutely.
Rich Aveo, ladies and gentlemen.
Bye, Rich. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
Love you, pal. Thank you, Rich. Listen, Rick Wakeman coming up. Suk, you saw Rick. He's obviously
legendary, great,
and all the
Rock
things
and
that
Roll
he's
Hall
done
of
in his
Famer.
career. He's so excited to be on here. He's over in the UK right now. Yes, one of those groups that you and I grew up with, of course.
Amazing.
Back when AM radio was a thing, and then they flipped over to FM. And then, just the main songs, right? You've got to see all good people turn their heads each day. I picked up Suki to come to the studio today.
Yep.
What did I have blasting in the car?
Yes.
Right? I'll be the roundabout. And also, the one that really made it to the, because I remember I was in high school as a spring breaker in Florida, and the song, Owner of a Lonely Heart. That was like the radio. Top 40 radio, right? But just long distance.
I mean, like,
around.
listen, Yes was like a musicianship. I mean, it was just phenomenal on every realm.
And when you thought about Yes and you heard about Yes, you thought the names, right? John Anderson and Rick Wakeman was always one of the guys who it was. Oh, Yes, yeah, Rick Wakeman. That guy's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Of course, Yes in the
Piano
Rock and Roll
on two
Hall
sides,
of Fame.
all over.
Suk, he's insane. He's got he's got a solo tour, solo album. He's going to be back in the States, I think, at the end of this month. We're going to talk to him about it. Here's a little bit of Rick Wakeman, the legendary Hall of Famer, and then we'll bring the man in on the other side. Take a look.
You're a genius, sir.
Morning has broken. Rick, you need me to come on tour and sing those with you, bud.
No, I'll leave the singing bit to Cat Stevens. I'll tell a little story. When we recorded that, Cat Stevens has got Yusuf Islam, as he's now, got quite a normal voice. But before he recorded the vocals, I think he smoked like about 6 cigarettes straight off to get the gravelly voice. And I thought, talk about dying for your art. I mean, he doesn't smoke anymore, but for a man with one lung, I mean, that's going a bit, isn't it?
It's committed. It's committed.
Oh my God!
How did you come?
Stupidity. Committed.
Committed stupidity. But you know what? The lasting legacy of that song. I mean, it's like generational. I mean, everybody who plays that song. It's just. It's one of those things. When you created that song, did you know it was going to have the tentacles that it has for as long as it has?
No, I honestly didn't. Interestingly enough, I didn't do any of the other tracks on his album, and the record company, it was those days when they used to release a few tracks off of the album as singles, and they released every single track except for Morning Has Broken, because they said it would never work as a single. Eventually they released it as a single, and it was the biggest seller of them all. Mm-hmm. Not that it helped me. I got £9.
Why'd you only get £9? You are the genius behind it.
Yeah, but it's Cat's name. I was very proud to play on it. It was a great calling card, to go and do lots of other things. It was a great period of time. I was doing loads of sessions for loads of different people, and it was wonderful because everybody was different. I met different producers, worked in different studios, met lots of different artists, some who were really, really good, and some who were, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, rubbish. But you did a bit of everything, and it was a wonderful time.
So great. Rick, when you talk about you and getting started in this business as a kid, you're like, you're a poster child for who the hell needs college anyway. You quit school to become a full-time studio musician. And I'm sure back at the time, there were a lot of people who said, Rick, you really shouldn't be quitting school. Is that a true statement, or was everybody behind you?
It was a real mixture. I'll tell you a little story. It was at the Royal College of Music, and I was on a 3-year course to get my fellowship. And what happened during the first year and a half was I started doing more and more sessions for different people like Bowie, Elton John, Cat Stevens. It was just an amazing amount of stuff, Black Sabbath, you name it. And I was doing it all. And the difficulty was that I couldn't fit it all in as well as the lectures and the stuff at college. And I was great friends with my clarinet professor, Basil Tchaikov, and I went to see him and I said, Mr. Tchaikov, can I talk to you? I've got a bit of a problem. He said, absolutely. Well, tell me. And I said, well, I've got all these sessions and things that I'm doing, and it's taken over from my, I suppose, my studies. Yeah. And I don't really know quite what to do. And he said, it's easy. He said, you leave. I said, you're a professor at the college and you're telling me to leave. He said, yeah. He said, what are we training you for? We're training you for a life in music. He said, and hopefully when you leave the college, there's a door that opens for you to go through to take part in that life in music. He said, sometimes the door opens early. He said, and it opens early for you. Go. And it's interesting. Two things that are interesting. Quite a few years later, about 20 or 30 years later, you had the program in America as well. This Is Your Life.
Yeah.
Well, they caught me over here, did me over here, and he was one of the guests. And I asked him after. I said, "Why did you recommend? I'm glad you did, but why did you recommend that I left being a professor at the college?" He said, "Because exactly the same happened to me." He said, "I got offered a seat with the Bournemouth Symphony Orchestra, and I was still at college, and it's never going to come up again. So I left to do it." He said, "Sometimes you don't have to finish the course to finish the course." And I'm glad I sort of took his advice on that, really. And interestingly enough, many years later, in fact, only about 10, 12 years ago, the Royal College contacted me and said that they felt, in view of everything, that I should have my fellowship. So I went along back to the college, and Prince Charles, or King Charles now, gave me my fellowship. So it was the longest gap between finishing a course, because it was 47 years, which is pretty preposterous, really, when you think about it. So people say, well, you left the course early. And I say, yeah, but it took me 47 years to get to the end.
Well, Rick, listen, I'm actually trying to beat your record because I'm still 6 credits shy of a broadcasting diploma from my college. And after, Suki and I won a whole bunch of Emmys, I called the school to say, hey, I've been in broadcasting a long time. We've won Emmys. I've worked here, and there. Can I just get the 6 credits of broadcasting that I need and get my diploma? They patched me through to 7 different people, Rick, that I hung up. I still don't have the friggin' diploma.
Well, you should. I tell you what, I'll send you one. You deserve it.
Yeah, send me a copy of yours. I don't have a diploma. It's so great.
When you were a studio musician, I mean, you mentioned Bowie. You worked on Space Elton John, Cat Stevens, Lou Reed. So many greats. What did you learn from being a studio musician for all of these different people that you then brought into your own musical experience? First with Yes, and then on your own.
A lot of people to draw from.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
I mean, one of the great things was I worked with great producers like Denny Cordell, who did Joe Cocker, of course, and Tony Visconti and Gus Dudgeon. I mean, so many great producers. And Gus Dudgeon actually said to me, every session you do, some will be great, some won't be, but you can learn from all of them. You'll learn things that you can do on your own when you're doing your own recordings, and you can certainly learn things not to do. And I think that was the great thing. And I did learn a lot from Tony Visconti, excuse me, Gus Dudgeon, and a few others. And obviously working with people like David Bowie was absolutely fantastic. I also worked with a few people that I remember going away going, well, I won't do that again if I'm ever involved. I suppose, I think half the thing is I just thoroughly enjoy doing it all. I must admit, I came away from some sessions thinking, did somebody pay for that? because it was dreadful. I mean, the amount of records that were made, certainly back in the late 60s, early 70s, that you wonder how on earth anybody got the money together to make them. But on the other hand, equally, there was some fantastic stuff and stuff that really should have been more successful than it was, in my view. But music's all down to opinion, isn't it?
No, it's great. Listen, you've got over 90 solo albums. We were talking about the David Bowie Space Oddity. Of course, if you're in our age group, immediately, Ground Control to Major Tom. I want to take you back on video to you at that same place at the piano and hear you doing a little Space Oddity. Watch, take a look. So I've crossed 100
oh my gosh!
miles.
Make it stop, Rick! Make it stop!
Rick, Suki and I were talking while you're playing, and the close-ups of your fingers, and I'm like, man, don't you wish you could just play half that good? Rick, do you know how many women I'd be able to meet if I was able to play the piano? If I was able to go into a piano bar and just start tickling the ivories like that?
Well, it can become very expensive, Scott. I mean, I've been married 4 times.
Right, talking to the right guy.
Incidentally, you talk about that was recorded in Lincoln Cathedral in the middle of winter, and in there it was -2 degrees. I was my hands were frozen.
That's unbelievable.
Oh my gosh.
It's so great. And I was telling Suki before the show, Rick, and tell me if this is true, because I think I remember the story and I reread it. But if it's wrong information, let me know. You guys, Yes was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2017, but you didn't go in kind of a protest because you were a little ticked off that it took too long to get you guys in there, and some of the original band members had passed away and not here to see you guys go in. Is that a true story? You didn't go and protest?
No, I went.
Oh, okay. So you see that you can't believe everything you read.
But equally, I did make a little protest before I went. I said I am going because I was very proud to be inducted in along with the other guys. Okay. And yes, I was just very sad that Chris Squire, who was he was the only founding member who had been in every incarnation of Yes, and he'd sadly passed away. And he would have been so proud to have been there. And my little protest was that there are so many bands that are inducted into the Hall of Fame where founder members have passed away. You take Deep Purple with John Lord, no longer there. You take The Who, no John Entwistle, no Keith Moon. And you think this is wrong. They would have loved to have been there. And my little protest was, have a little think when you're bringing people in. Don't bring them in too late so that they miss the chance to feel really proud of being inducted in.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
That's very, listen, that's a lot of folks, when you talk about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, that there's so many bands that should be in there already that still aren't in there. And I could see your point. I could see your point. Some people not getting to see, that dream realized of a lifelong work. And all those years of greatness, just to get in.
Yeah, and it's a lovely thing, but I did enjoy the induction. It was fantastic, and I did get my point across very politely about that. be nice if they think a little bit before letting bands get so old. That there's hardly that those that are left can hardly walk on the stage, let alone those that aren't there.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely, because there's all of us fans that are out there that just kind of want to see that performance of everybody together on stage as well, and the introduction of all the people that you've inspired that do your music as well. It's just a beautiful production.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Suki. It is a lovely thing, and I at least as an inductee, I get a chance to vote on who goes. So I do my vote religiously every year on the names that are sent through.
Very cool.
I just, as I say, the only thing I would just like to see is some bands get in earlier because they deserve it.
Can we talk more about Yes really quickly?
Oh, absolutely.
Whatever you like.
Well, here's the thing, Sue.
Yeah.
So Rick, you had you were there for I'm looking at the 30 plus years, but you had five different runs with the band. Was it just you leaving to do other stuff where you popped out? Did you guys have arguments? You said I'm out of here, or how come it was 5 different times where you left and came back?
I mean, it was all of those things that you said, really. I mean, one journalist wrote that that my relationship with Yes was like Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor. That we couldn't live without each other, but couldn't live with each other.
Yeah.
And there's an element of that. I mean, I love my times with Yes. Yes, very, very important to me in every respect. We did argue. Yes, we did fight. Yes, we did produce some great music. But Yes was all about give and take. Whatever you gave to the music, you had to be able to take as much back. And if that balance stopped working, then there was no way you could really stay. And John felt that in 1980. I did. I mean, I left after Tales from Topographic Oceans, which I openly said I didn't think much of. And then I rejoined again 2 years later for the One album, which was the direction that I felt the band should be going in. I find it quite amusing these days. I don't know what it's like in America, but we get a lot of bands reforming over here, and I know most of them, and they'll appear on shows like yours or on the telly, and they'll all be sitting together, all smiling sweetly and going, "Oh yeah, well we couldn't wait to get together again to do the music." And I'm going, you all hate each other. You were in court last week suing each other. Now, it's quite funny, really. I mean, bands will always argue. I mean, there's not very many jobs in the world, and I don't really call this a job at all. It's just a lovely vocation in life. But you think about it, when we're on the road with Yes, or any band actually on the road, you have breakfast with the guys, you travel with the guys, you sound check with the guys, you do interviews with the guys, you do the show with the guys, you go back to the hotel with the guys, and the only time you don't see them is when you go to bed. You get up and you do the same again every day. Yeah. You get ticked off with everybody if you did that. I don't know anybody who would survive even with their greatest friends. We sort of cured it all in the end by deliberately, in the nicest sense, avoiding each other, except when we were going to the shows, rehearsing or doing the shows. That was the only time we sort of saw each other, and it worked. It worked really, really well. In fact, on one of the last tours we did, I think in some cases we were on different floors in hotels, or even in different hotels, and we were still great friends with each other. And we were great friends because we didn't live in each other's pockets.
I love it.
And you know what? I just realized, Suki, that Rick, you just hit the nail on the head. Suki and I, we don't speak or see each other until we sit at this
You're
desk.
right. And you know what? We don't live in each other's pockets.
We don't even live in the same house.
There's nothing in the pockets.
Yeah, Rick, we're broke, so we don't have any money to divvy up.
We've got nothing.
Well, that's right. I think a lot more marriages would stay together if people actually didn't see each other and live in each other's pockets.
The musicianship when it comes to Yes, I mean, like, when I hear the vocals on, I've seen all good people. How does that all come together? I mean, is there who especially that song for me?
And he's had so many solos in a lot of these songs,
he's had 90 solo albums.
Yeah, no, it's great.
That's because I'm old, Suki.
No, you were just always a creative genius who just, who had a lot to say and a lot to put out into the world. I mean, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I got to imagine your mom and, paying for those music lessons, when you were 7 years old, your father.
Piano, right?
Yeah. What do you think they would think, if they could be here looking at the body of work that you were able to create through music?
It's a good point. I mean, I found out many years later, because my dad died in 1980, and my mum told me, because they didn't have any money when I was a kid. It was just, I was born 4 years after the war finished, and things were pretty tough in England, especially around the London area. And my mum told me that my piano lessons cost half of my dad's wages.
Oh wow!
And they went without so much for my piano lessons, and I never found that out until after he died, which was pretty sad, because I'd love to have been able to sit down, give him a great big hug, and say, "Now I know, thank you so much." I mean, my dad saw the 70s, which was a fantastic era. He came to see Jesus Sent to the Earth. He came, and my mum, they both came to see Yes. Mum never understood Yes one iota. Bless her. My mum liked the old-fashioned country and western, Jim Reeves, that kind of thing. So I've seen All Good People and Roundabout. We're about as far away removed from I love you because you. And it was, but we had a little rule in when I went to see my mum. I said, "Look, Mum, I don't mind if you want to play your country and western records, but do me a favor and play them backwards, so at least the dog comes back to life, and they get the house back and the truck gets mended." But she loved her country and western, bless her.
You speed them up, they sound like Dolly Parton. Rick,
or Kermit the Frog.
Yes.
Two quick questions for you, bud. One can just be a yes or no. When in all the time that you've been doing studio work, keyboards, all the instruments, was there ever a time where you thought about doing vocals, or you just kind of always stayed away from it?
I did do some vocals on a couple of things. It's if you want to sort of have a bit of a look after I've left the planet, probably I did a track called "I'm So Straight I'm a Weirdo," of which we made a video of. This was way back in 1979. And I did it made top 30 over here in England, so it was it sort of did okay. That was my attempt at vocals.
And the other question I wanted to ask was, I've seen All Good People, Roundabout, Long Distance, the ones that everybody knows. But
Lonely Heart.
Well, the Owner of a Lonely Heart is what I want to know about, because all the other ones that people like us became familiar with, they played on like the rock stations here in New York, right?
Yeah.
So the rock stations played Yes.
Yeah.
But Owner of a Lonely Heart, that got into the top 40 action. What did you guys mean to do that? Was it intentional? Hey, let's get a bubblegum pop song in there, or was it something that it just happened organically?
Well, it was written by Trevor Rabin, who wrote it. And it was probably the song that saved Yes. I mean, I actually wasn't on it. I'd left when they did that. I wish I had done it. It made a fortune. But Trevor wrote it, and it was a huge hit, as you say. And the interesting thing was, that was right in the middle of a real change in music, in punk scenes and everything else that was going on. So for Yes to have a massive hit during that period was phenomenal. And I don't think that anybody who loves Yes can ever thank Trevor Rabin enough for writing that and doing that. Because I think if they hadn't have had that record, I don't think there'd be a Yes today.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow, it's a very prolific tune, right?
Yeah. Let's talk about your most recent album, A Gallery of Imagination.
Yeah.
And his tour.
And your tour that's coming back here into the United States. So what can we see now, Rick? What can we expect?
Well, this is a one-man show. I've got a piano and a couple of keyboards, and I do music that I've been associated with over the years, and it's bare down to the bare bones because of the piano, just piano and keyboards. And it's only me, so I do like Cat Stevens stuff. I do David Bowie. I do some Yes stuff, some of my own, a few surprises that people wouldn't expect me to do. And in between, I tell completely ludicrous stories, of which a few have a semblance of truth. And the rest is well, you have to make up your own mind. It's like having everybody in your front room for the evening and play. It's something I really enjoy doing. It's different from the band shows. I mean, I've just done some big band shows in London, which were with my own band, which was fantastic fun, which I'll bring to America next year. It's just nice to have all kind of different things to do. I like that.
I love it. And I know you were just in Atlantic City recently last month because my brother was down there and he said, "Hey, Rick Wakeman's here." Rick, what's the site that people can go to here in our area and in the States where they could find you? Because I know you got this solo show.
Dates,
you got a lot of dates on there. Where can they find you?
I think all the dates will be on rwcc.com. I think is where they all are.
Okay.
rwcc.com.
Yeah, but I could be wrong.
Or not. It might be there or not.
I just gotta imagine. I mean, as we're both admirers of musicians, of just the caliber of intellect it takes to put this kind of creative art into the world. What do your kids, do they ever have this moment of like looking back and saying, you know, my dad was a rock and roll Hall of Famer? I'm like, did you ever have this moment of like your son or
do they treat you like a king?
Yeah. Do they treat you well?
Yeah, I mean, I say my kids. I mean, my eldest boy is 51 now, Oliver. Wow. I mean, he did a couple of years with Yes, a great keyboard player. My other son, his younger brother, 48. That's Adam. Adam's been with Ozzy Osbourne for 23 years.
Whoa.
So he's a great player. Both my daughters play the piano. My two sons both make music. But I'm hoping that they are a tremendous success because, of course, they're going to be the ones that choose which care home I go into.
That's true. That's true. They're going to help you with that assisted living.
Well, yeah, absolutely. It's quite funny, really. But yeah, my son Adam, he came. I saw him just a week or so ago. He did the shows at the Palladium in London with me, and he said, "Dad, I found a perfect care home for you." He said, "'Cause he knows we love animals. We've got rescue dogs and rescue cats." And he said, "Look, this is perfect for you." And he said, "Look, that's the view." I said, "That looks like a giraffe." I said, "Where's this care home?" He said, "Kenya." I said, "Oh, great." He said, "You'll love it there, Dad. It's dead cheap."
Rick,
so he'll learn.
It doesn't matter where the assisted living facility is. Once they find out who you are, it's going to be, Mr. Wakeman, would you mind playing the piano after bingo at 7:30?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Rick, listen,
you are a gentleman.
Listen, you're a legend. But before you go, got one more video because I saw you were at same keyboard, same place, freezing your butt off. Little Eleanor Rigby by the Beatles.
Oh, yeah.
Take a look at this, and it's classic.
It's incredible. Rick,
if you keep up the practice and you keep taking lessons, you're gonna get this, my friend. You're gonna get it.
And in return, I'll send you your diploma.
Oh yes, yes, winner.
Rick, thank you, my friend. Just such an honor to have you on, bud.
Thank you very much. It's a real honor to be on your show. Thank you.
Hopefully you had a good time and it was worth staying up for.
It certainly was. It was lovely. Thank you.
All right, my man. Rick Wakeman, ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer. Yes, solo show. So it's you think it's WRCC.com?
No, RW.
Oh, what the hell's
Rick
Wakeman? Wakeman Rick. No,
Yeah.
RickWakemanCC.com. Check that out. He's got a bunch of New York City winery. I know I saw him there
City
as
winery,
well.
Yep.
Is a legend, ladies and gentlemen. You're guaranteed to have an amazing show. Rick, thank you so much, bud. An honor to have you on, my friend.
Bless you. Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you, Rick.
Take care, bud. Wow.
What a great storyteller.
Yeah,
on top
such
of
a
it,
good
such
guy.
a great sense of humor.
Great.
I mean, and life that he has lived.
Oh, my
I mean,
God,
with Cat
Sue.
Stevens, you know,
Elton John, Lou
Elton
Reed.
John. I mean, it just
Didn't you
goes
just
on.
like leave college to go hang and play with these guys?
I mean, like, of course, and his professor, you
Said
know, the
go. You
words,
gotta go.
Yeah, but the words are so. Some people, what we're training you here is to do the job that you love.
Yeah.
Right? To get a job when you
Right.
walk out the door as a musician.
Huh?
Your door has opened. It's time for you to walk through that door.
Yeah, that's almost like if you and I were in like broadcasting school and we were in our final semester and somebody said, hey, we want
You
you
got a
guys
job.
you got a game show we're going to host in Hollywood. And no, I got to finish school first. No, you go.
You go.
You finish school later.
Yeah.
Anyway, great show today. Next Thursday, we have more people coming up. It's fun.
Debbie Gibson?
No, not yet for Debbie. Debbie's coming soon.
Only in my dreams. Come on.
Jeff, I think we have a graphic for Eggert. What's her name? I just lost her
Melissa
name.
Eggert?
Not Melissa. Put up Nicole Eggert.
Nicole Eggert.
Put that one up, Jeff. Should be up top there. There she is. Nicole Eggert.
Oh, boy.
Coming soon.
Nicole
next
Eggert.
Thursday.
Hopefully you'll edit around this.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll. Charles in Charge. Baywatch. Nicole Eggert. Also Rosemary Watson. We should have a quick clip of her. Jeff, throw her up. Rosemary's coming on with Nicole.
Stockings were hung by the chimney with Cher. I can't believe I said that. It's not all about me. I said Cher.
The children were nestled all snug in their beds without the worry of student loan debt going around and around in their heads.
I sprang out of my bed and I yelled, "Hey, Bill, go see what's the matter."
The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow.
I love that part. Rich Aveo was great today as usual. Rick Wakeman.
What a shout out for him.
By the way, coming up, Suk, beginning of April or the end of March, I think. Mark Rivera. Speaking of musical legends, Mark Rivera is the saxophone player for Billy Joel for the last 40 years or so. He's got some great solos like on the Brenda and Eddie, right? That Mark Rivera is unbelievable, and he's also the band leader for Ringo Starr's band. Mark Rivera is coming on, and we have such great things happening. News 12 Plus in the New York area. Check it out. It's on Optimum Cable and Verizon Fios. We'll give you more information as that comes along. That's going to be Sundays at 11 a.m. News 12 Plus. Suk, we fooled him again.
We fooled him again, and we're doing a really great job.
We've done it again.
Yeah.
Not a great job at Heads Up, but we're going to keep trying. I think our skills. I don't know if you and I could ever go teammates on that
I don't think so. I think we're terrible.
We get blown away.
But you know what we're really good at? We're really good at the Suki and Scott show.
We are.
Yeah.
Are we good at this?
I think so.
All right. Well, listen. Everybody's always asking for Phil. Let me lean over. We'll end the show with Philly Kid. I got to pull it in from a different place.
Pull it in.
That's why I can't.
We thank you guys as always for rolling with the Suki and Scott show. Like Scotty said, there's lots of big things happening, and we'll keep you posted as to who comes on when.
Oh, we got a lot.
And you know what? You tell two friends, so on, so on.
Tell somebody for God's sake.
Make this a success.
Let's sit.
You got it. You got Philly. Let's go.
Alone in this house again tonight. I got the TV on, the sound turned down, and a bottle of wine. There's pictures of you and I on the walls around me. The way that it was and could have been surrounds me. I'll never get over you walking away, baby. I've never been the kind to ever let my feelings show. And I thought that being strong meant never losing your self-control. But I'm just drunk enough to let go of my pain. To hell with my pride, let it fall like rain from my eyes. Tonight I wanna cry. Would it help if I turned a sad song on? All by myself would sure hit me hard now that you're gone. Or maybe unfold some old yellow lost love letters. It's gonna hurt bad before it gets better. But I'll never get over you by hiding this way. No. I've never been the kind to ever let my feelings show. And I thought that being strong meant never losing your self-control. But I'm just drunk enough to let go of my pain. To hell with my pride, let it fall like rain from my eyes. Tonight I wanna cry, yeah. I've never been the kind to ever let my feelings show. And I thought that being strong meant never losing your self-control. But I'm just drunk enough to let go of my pain. To hell with this pride, let it fall like rain from my eyes. Tonight I wanna cry.